Welcome to the Coaching Mixer with Erin and Elana. This is part 2 of Rum Ramblings. So in the second half of our drink, we dive right in talking about some of the static that can be present when you step in to teach or coach in someone else's community. We also talk about a really important mindset shift that goes on when you are working creatively and how to maybe start to expand your personal beliefs about what you can and can't do when it comes to everything from your creativity to your business. I really hope you enjoy this second half of the conversation as much as we did. And at the end of the episode, we will tell you how to be in touch with us if you're liking the show. We want to hear from you. If you want to leave us a review, that would mean a lot. And if you just want to reach out, say hi, or share a drink recipe that you think we should try, you can do that over at besuperabound.com/coaching mixer. That will give you the links for how to connect with both of us. All right, let's dive in.
I'm in coach mode. I just taught a class on static to total strangers. I want to share this with you before we.
Okay, yes, I need more information, please.
Okay, so I was asked to teach a class. So I wrote a book last year. It came out 1 year ago with my husband, and it is like the never-ending freaking story. I'm going to plug my book right now. Superbound, live the life streaming for you.
Amazing.
Please buy it. I also yes at besuperabound.com/book. This book has been just like such a project. It was such a project to write. It's my 4th book, but it's definitely like the most I've ever invested financially, time-wise, emotionally into a project. Steve will never write another book with me after this. He says I'm mean. We're still married, but not if we wrote another book together.
Which is amazing insight to have. Very wise.
And that's fine, because I like to do things fast, and it's hard to wait for someone to finish their pages who's not like as invested in the writing. But in this book, I kind of share one of the practices that's kind of helped me build the most self-trust. And every once in a while, someone will invite me. I'm gonna share this, everybody. If you ask me to come and sell my book in your community, I will do it. I will do it. I just want this book into so many people's hands. I want people listening to it because it is the project where I feel like if I die in this tornado, it's happening outside.
Oh my God. Please do not die in this tornado.
It is the legacy. It is my kids can be proud of me, and we did this thing. But I was asked to teach this class, and other coaches are going to resonate with this, but you go into, and you go into someone else's community and you're like, I have no idea what this other person's been teaching. I know her, so I know it's going to be like, cool, it's going to be adjacent. She liked the book, so that's good. But like, I know none of the clients. It feels like being a substitute yoga teacher at like the most beloved teacher's class. You're like, probably everybody hates me. I'm like, it's so funny to have static to teach about static as I'm feeling my own static. I'm like, I'm not the regular person. I'm asking them to buy into this process that's all about listening to your body's wisdom and listening to the energy that is coming up, and like trusting that negative emotions or whatever we call negative emotions actually have a nugget of gold. And thankfully, I guided them through this, and the person had a shift. But that's never a guarantee. It sort of feels like improv.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling like immense relief for that. But yeah, I just was wondering, like, how do you prep for that? How do you prep when you're going into someone else's container to teach or to speak, or you're getting on stage and you're like, I don't know who this audience is? How do you what is your approach to that? I would love to know, and I think it would be helpful for other people.
Oh, that's a good question. So I've done a lot of guest coaching in various communities. And I think when I started out doing it, my approach then, which I would not recommend, was to like learn as much as I can about this person's approach and then like adopt it as much as I could.
Yep.
Which led to some, I mean, it was fine. And like, it was actually kind of interesting from a coaching perspective because it stretched me to try out different methodologies. But I think obviously I was like on edge. I was not showing up really as myself and honestly not probably doing what I was brought in to do, which was to give them access to my unique approach. So I would say now, like, it's a lot of mindset work, which is like a fancy term for just reminding myself repeatedly.
Thanks for saying that.
that I was brought in, like, all I need to do is show up as myself and be like connect with whoever I am talking to on the call. Like, that's all. And that will be great for some people and it will be not great for other people. And that's totally fine. But that's why I was brought in, was to like just bring another perspective.
Okay. So for every coach listening to this, because I know there's millions by now.
Oh, yeah.
That is exactly, I mean, that's the thought for so many things. But I have chills right now because I'm like, that's what I do for consults and sales calls. I'm just like, just my only job is to connect, just be myself, because I only want the right people in my world, and I can only help the people who are at this point. Yeah, I love that. I really love that.
Yeah. So what helped you on what was your approach to preparing? I use air quotes for that, but what was your approach to this call?
You know, it's so funny. I always tell myself, I'm like, I'm going to have a whole outline and do the whole thing. And then I have this conversation where I'm like, you already wrote a book on this. You should be able to just sit down and talk about it for an hour.
I love that. You're like, I need to do a lot more work, even though I've literally written the book on this.
Being a yoga teacher for 16 years, like, really helped. Because the only thing I would ever plan for my classes was the playlist. I was like, the only thing that matters is the container of the music. And then I'm just going to teach to the people that show up based on whatever I see, whatever I notice. And it was like, you know, you mentioned collaboration at the beginning. I'm like, it's a collaboration with who's there. And I'm not going to know how it's going to be. And if one person shows up, I'm like, well, that person's getting a free, amazing hour of coaching. A bunch of people showed up to this call, none of whom have ever heard of me and none of whom I've ever met or coached. And it was so beautiful. And I hopped on this podcast and I'm like, I am so lucky to do what I do and that someone asked me to do it. And if I sold some books, Steve will be happy.
That's so amazing. I love the parallel you draw between yoga. I'd never thought about that or made that connection, but that's exactly what coaching is you show up and you connect with the person in front of you.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's all it is.
And I mean,
that's not all it is, but that's
but it is.
It's like whatever, when you have the other skills.
You can't like cram for it. It's not like you can be like, okay, now I've got to like learn how to coach suddenly. It's like whatever's going to be in there, and hopefully the right things come out for the people who are there. Can you hear it? The rain.
I can't.
It's like the trees are bending towards.
Do you need?
No, I'm totally good. I'm in a concrete box.
Did you DIY things or did you hire? Okay, good.
I'm so particular about certain things in my world. This is maybe a mindset. Maybe this is an interesting mindset thing. I knew nothing. They showed me some pictures of what they were going to do. And I was like, can't visualize this at all. Okay, like, have fun. I did not really see it or go. I went into it, I think, a week before they finished it. And I was like, cool. But I signed off on a lot of things that I didn't totally understand. And I was like, I'm sure that'll be great. like, I don't know, these people are experts. The construction company's got it. And
that's kind of amazing, though. I mean, a lot of people tear their hair out through the entire process of renovating. I think yours sounds better.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I don't love are like the lights in the other room. I wish I had different lights, but that's it. The windows, everything. Like, I could not have visualized this in a million years, even with the pictures that they showed me. That's not how my brain works. I have a client who is an interior designer, and her whole business is hand rendering so people can actually see and understand. And I was like, I wish that my designer and my contractor had you. So I would have understood. But I love it.
Oh, yeah. So when you were signing off, you were like signing off on kind of isolated things.
They're like, we're going to put windows here and here. I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what kind I didn't ask what kind of windows, how big will they be? How much light do we get? And no idea.
As long as you're happy with it at the end.
Yeah.
I'm similar to you in that it sounds like I'm similar to you in that my brain, I don't have a great visual imagination. I have a great appreciation for the visual arts.
Yes.
But I just don't think in those terms. So I'm like much more of a word person.
Same. Yeah. I love the end result, but I cannot visualize a process. Although I am trying to shift that. My kids are teaching, my kids have taught me a lot about mindset recently about my ability, because I have had that kind of blockage where I'm like, oh, I'm not an artist and I'm not visual. And I would just kind of say that as though it were the ultimate truth. And the thing I'm working on right now is I'm like, I might want to have an oracle deck, like a tarot deck, but oracle cards to go along with my next book. And so I was like, I've got to research illustrators, and I've got to figure out like who can do this for me, or like what are the options. And as I'm sitting there kind of talking through all of the millions of things and like pricing it out and like what's the lead time and just like doing all the annoying strategy things, my youngest sits down, he takes these blank oracle cards we have, and he starts sketching and painting and using these really fancy markers. And he made like 5 oracle cards and a key to tell you what they all mean. And I was like,
oh, wow.
As I'm sitting there talking, he's like, well, I'm just going to do it.
That's incredible.
So it's just kind of like shifted my idea. I'm like, at least I could try and paint some of the ideas and let a professional do it. But why do we tell ourselves that we're not visually?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's amazing. It's also fun because I recently have had a spark of an idea involving some sort of oracle deck of some kind.
Yes. Oh my god.
Which I think I have less of a background and knowledge of like tarot and oracle decks, but I was thinking about like creative archetypes and like there are sort of like polarities of creative archetypes, and there are certain things that I think are like overactive in people and cause people to feel blocked creatively, and then there are other archetypes that like balance those out. So it's like a spark of an idea, and I have no idea how to accomplish it because I'm not, to take your wisdom here, I'm not like inherently drawn to or practiced.
My 7-year-old wisdom.
Your 7-year-old wisdom. I'm not like practiced in thinking visually, but I think it could be really fun.
Okay, so now you've said it out loud, and I love it. And the thing with oracle versus tarot, like tarot is a kind of a fixed system. So, I mean, there are people who really mess around with it, and that's like totally fine. But with oracle, you can kind of do whatever you want. It's much more like free form. It can be very like channeled. It can be, it's like whatever is calling to you is totally fair game for the oracle deck world. What I've been playing with is, even though I'm like not committed to the whatever I create being the thing, I'm just like, let me like, so like I'll pull something from, what was I doing the other day? Oh, it was super ugly. I would never use it, but it's like it was at the goal swamp, which is like a concept in our book about like when you're not on the mountain climbing towards your vision, you're stuck in the goal swamp, which is usually like doing things for status or doing things that were expected of you, or, you know, running towards a goal without really making sure that you're holistically well. So I was painting it. And then as I was like just doodling with the watercolors, painting this thing, it was almost like it tuned me into the energy of what that would be. So even though the illustration's not like beautiful, I was learning more about the concept.
Yes.
As I was doing it. So I was like, it was almost like an excerpt, because I'm a word person too. It's so easy to sit down and be like, I'm going to write all my words and here I go. And I'm typing and I'm going to get it out and it's going to be so intellectual. But it was like, so I was doing it. I was like, I wonder why I keep putting these like little like dead trees on the outside of the swamp. Like, what happened to these guys? Like, why are these they're just like dry and undernourished? And I was like, oh, that's part of the swamp. It's like it's sucking the nutrients from everything around it. It's all like going down, and it's what's making it's so heavy for people to walk forward and step out of. So yeah, like I think it could be fun to just get your watercolors or your pencil crayons or something and play.
Maybe I will. That sounds amazing. I mean, this is like, oh, I love that you shared that. Like, this is one of my beloved soapboxes about creating. Like, a lot of creatives, I generally, I don't know if I mentioned, but I generally coach a lot of creatives, which I include coaches and entrepreneurs in creatives. I think everyone is creative.
Yes, totally.
But that's like another soapbox. But I tend to coach creatives, and a lot of creatives are like, oh, I don't want to waste time. I don't want to go down a path and then find I've wasted time. But there is no such thing as wasted time when you're creating, because you're always learning.
Yes.
Even if you're learning, this is not a direction that I want to go in, that's still forward movement. And what you described is such a beautiful, like, you might not use exactly the images that you created. You might have someone, you might use the template from what you created, or you might not, but you still learned, you got some insight into certain like conceptual things that maybe you hadn't vocalized before, had access to before you did that exercise.
Yeah. And I feel like I do think that kind of like, you know, we were defining what is coaching. One thing I do maybe hold too rigidly is that as coaches, it is our job to test our mental like flexibility. So for me, I'm just like, I'm absolutely not visual. So therefore, I just need to find someone else who can do this. And yes, there's merit to that. As an entrepreneur, you don't want to have to do everything yourself. All of that is also true. But watching my kid just like sit down and say, I can make an oracle card right now. Just, or they sit down and they watch like a sketching tutorial and they're like, here's my manga guy that I made. Here's my anime character that I just created after watching a 15-minute video. I'm like, maybe it's not me not knowing how to, like, maybe it's not me not being able to do it. Maybe it's just me not having the information that is literally on my computer at my fingertips that I don't have access to.
Absolutely. Or having expectations that are like unfair to where you're at in the process. Or having judgment that is maybe a little overdeveloped given what you're undertaking.
I think it's really interesting and fun to like, not to say we have to learn how to do everything, but just like sometimes pushing back a little bit on the what is or isn't possible. What are we, I mean, because ultimately we're always choosing what we want to believe, because it either feels really good and amazing, or it feels really bad, and we associate something feeling bad with feeling true.
Yeah, that one hurts.
It's hard. It's hard to uncouple from.
I think especially to your point, like it's important, especially as coaches, but I think also as humans, to be examining these things. I think especially when they're like their identity related, like it wasn't that you were thinking, I don't prefer, like, I don't really enjoy, that's a preference. Like, I don't enjoy drawing, or I don't enjoy visual arts very much, which is maybe worth examining. But it was like, I am not a visual artist, which is like your identity. And I think it's worth stretching that.
Yeah. Because I actually really enjoy it. Like, we've been sitting down and doing little painting swatches every day. And I'm like, this is so fun. I'm not, you know, I wish I were like a let's go to the park parent, or like let's play with Lego parent, or pretend, like, let's pretend, do a pretend game. But I'm like, I don't want to make something. I want to like do a thing. And this is such a fun way to bond with my kid who is very into art. But only because like the mind is so free.
Kids are such an example of like unbridled creative potential, just like left to their own devices.
Yeah, it's teaching me a lot.
That's amazing. I'm excited about your Oracle deck.
I'm excited about yours.
We can do our own little doodling on it and update each other next time.
Yeah. Oh, so good. You had some like really interesting ideas maybe as we kind of wrap up for today. How's your drink? How was your
delicious actually? Yeah. It's very good. I forgot to mention I also had seltzer in there. Oh, nice. And it is quite good.
I love this. Okay, you had this idea for a gratitude gimlet. One thing you're thankful for. I love this. I think this is cool. What are you thankful for right now?
I am thankful for theater, honestly. I'm thankful for a space where people can come together and just like share in the messy process of creating and affirming each other's ideas, and not really being attached to every idea, but just like coming together and trying things out. I've been thinking a lot about how much that has to offer humanity, but also like the coaching world specifically, because there's such unbridled, safe experimentation that happens in a rehearsal room. It's like expected that you come with your ideas, and it's expected that a lot of those ideas fail. Yeah. And that's not even a little bit a problem. And so I've been thinking a little bit about not just like how special that is, but also how amazing that energy would be if we can find a way to apply it to life. Yeah. And just have that, like, that fearless experimentation, which is not to say you don't have feelings about when things fail, but in rehearsal, you actually don't really. You just like try stuff. Yeah. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And both are amazing. So that's what I'm thankful for today.
Oh, that's so good. It is such a good, like, it's like a spiritual life lesson. I feel like my very first actual spiritual experiences were while doing theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I need to know a little more.
I'm grateful for this too. Yeah. I mean, I was a kid doing, I don't know if it was theater camp or I was in a professional show when I was about 11. And I just remember like when everything finally clicked, I was not a dancer and we had to do all these dance numbers. I had to learn how to tap dance. It was painful.
Wow.
The director screamed at me like every day.
Oh, wow. Like, okay. Really, was that type of director?
Hard. Oh, yeah. It was hardcore. Yeah, it was crazy. But then getting to perform, it was like, we are like just on the brink. Everything is present. I just had that. I'm like, you have to be fully here. If you're not fully here, you're going to miss a step. You're going to mess up. You're going to like drop the container that you're holding for the audience. And I just remember being like very aware of that at a really young age. The responsibility of it, but also just like the total magic of like anything could happen right now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's so beautiful. Also this idea of like, to build on that, like theater, acting specifically, because I haven't acted in like 20 years. When I'm directing, I'm actively engaged in problem solving like 100% of the time. And then when the show is open, I'm like done. With acting, you are repeating a lot of the same stuff, and you have to find ways to like make it fresh. And so the interplay of presence and repetition was really interesting for me, and that I think has some it touches a little bit on the, like, I've been thinking about dedication and like commitment and consistency as like, I don't know, I'm not quite sure how this comes together, but I think there's something about finding ways to be very present even when you're like doing stuff that doesn't feel actively exciting to be doing. Like the third weekend, we were doing the same content over and over again, the same lines, the same character, the same interactions, but you have to find ways to like be fully present with that and in the moment. Yeah.
So good. Yeah. It's meditation training.
Yeah. Amazing.
Oh, so good. As we wrap up, I'm just curious, like, what are you up to? If people want to connect with you, you know, we're kind of doing this for fun. And I think that the coaching industry has kind of lost a lot of its strong leadership and organizing communities that once were really strong. So if people want to connect with you, how would they do that?
Absolutely. So you can find out more about my work at coachingwithelana.com. That's ELANA. And you can find most of my content actually is on Instagram. It's Elana McKernan at Elana McKernan, McKernan. So you can find out. I currently work with people one-on-one. I took a bit of a sabbatical, but I am back.
Yay.
Accepting new clients.
Ooh, we gotta talk about that next time.
Oh my God, I love it. Yes. How about you, Erin?
BeSuperabound.com is where like 300 of my other podcast episodes live, and book resources, and just a ton of work over the years. And I'm also on Instagram. I actually think, unpopular opinion, I think Instagram is super fun, and I like posting random, not just businessy stuff on there. I think it's super fun, but it's at BeSuperabound on Instagram. And yeah, love to hear.
I especially love your cats.
Oh my gosh, my cats,
photos of your cats on Instagram.
Stars of my Instagram.
I love it.
I think that's why I think it's the only reason people follow me is to see cat snuggles.
Okay, that is not true, but they're definitely a bonus.
It's such a bonus. That's what I mostly post cat pictures in my stories or videos in my stories. Sometimes I'll post my garden, which is also very exciting. It's getting really a nice. I'm grateful for this rain that we're getting right now on this very hot, summery day.
Yes.
And I'm grateful for
how's
you.
the
This
weather?
is so fun.
Oh my God, yes.
Like just everything I hoped for and more.
Me too. I'm so glad we're doing this.
I know.
This is delightful.
Creative, random idea, and hopefully fun for people listening. You know, if you have questions or things you want to hear us talk about, or cocktails you'd like us to try.
Ooh, yes.
Just send a message to one or both of us, and we will do it again soon.
Erin, this has been so fun. I'm so delighted, and also just to like get to know you better, because I've always like sensed in you, for lack of a better term, like there's a bit of a kindred spirit there, and I've wanted to know more about you. You're such an interesting person. You're such an incredible coach. So this has been amazing.
Oh, I feel the same. And it was a weird kind of random thing that we both were like, that is a good idea. And I'm not sure why it's a good idea. But I guess we're going to find out. And yeah, just thank you for organizing us. Thank you for staying up late. And like, this is late for me. Maybe you're like,
8 p.m.
I'm going out. Yeah. I usually have my PJs
kids,
on.
So I think that changes things.
I'm just tired.
I get it.
But yeah, and thanks to everybody who stuck around to listen. Appreciate it.